Welcome back to Justice. You may remember last month the government issued a rule protecting religious nonprofits like the Little Sisters of the Poor from providing abortion services in their health care plans. It was a win for anyone who believes in religious freedom. But already states like California and Pennsylvania are suing to reverse that exemption. I'm joined now by Mark Rienzi, who is the lead attorney for Little Sisters of the Poor. All right, Mark, thanks for being with us tonight. But, you know, Mark, I have to tell you, I was kind of surprised when I saw this lawsuit by California and by Pennsylvania against the Little Sisters of the Poor. For some reason, I thought the Supreme Court of the United States in 2014 and 2016 made a decision in the Hobby Lobby case, thanks to Steve Green, that you can't force people to violate their religious freedoms and to provide contraceptives to employees. And the Supreme Court said you can't penalize Little Sisters of the Poor. And now the Supreme Court having spoken, these states come out and they're gunning for the Little Sisters of the Poor. What's this about?
Well, you're exactly right, Judge, and I tell you, the Little Sisters were surprised too. What this is about really is Javier Becerra in California and Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania trying to revive the last administration's unnecessary culture war. Everybody knows you don't need nuns to give out contraceptives. The federal government finally admitted that they couldn't and shouldn't do that, and they had lots of other ways. And these states are now just trying to pick up the old culture war. And I don't know who they think they're pleasing by attacking nuns, but it's not going to work.
Well, and who's paying for all this? You know, the Little Sisters of the Poor, just remind my viewing audience, you know, who they are and what they do.
Sure. The Little Sisters of the Poor are Catholic nuns who take care of the elderly, poor, and dying.
Right.
And they take care of people who have no place else to go. And you asked who's paying for it. It's the taxpayers of Pennsylvania and California, unfortunately, who are paying for these lawsuits. I seriously doubt that they want their elected officials to go suing nuns who take care of the elderly, poor, and dying for free. But that's who's paying for it. And it's hard to believe that any of the voters actually want their governments to do this kind of thing.
And then, but who represents the Little Sisters of the Poor? You do.
I do. I get to represent the Little Sisters of the Poor, which is a wonderful thing to do. And what we're doing is we're going into court and we're telling those judges the Supreme Court has already decided this, and you can't take away the Little Sisters of the Poor's rights. And of course, there are just lots of ways for people to get contraceptives without nuns. And these states know that. This is just political grandstanding.
Right. So that those individuals who may be working for religious institutions, they have other options, other ways to get contraception without forcing the Little Sisters of the Poor to expend their energy, their time on a case that's res judicata. It's already been decided, where there's already a precedent by the highest court in the land. Is this just mean-spirited states like California, a sanctuary state, Pennsylvania, not yet a sanctuary state, but some of the biggest cities are resisting, you know, sanctuary cities, Philadelphia, etc. I mean, they just don't believe in accepting the law as it's written.
I think that's right. They could have filed motions to intervene in the Supreme Court case, or they could go back to the Supreme Court if they want. But they don't have the guts to do that. They filed their new suits, and they didn't complain about secular big corporations leaving out contraceptives. They were fine with that for years. They only seem to have a problem with it when the Little Sisters of the Poor want to do it, and that just makes no sense.
You know, the sad part is, Mark, that, you know, you have groups of individuals who are selfless and taking care of those who are poor and dying and are forced to go through the stress of all this. These are mean-spirited plaintiffs. And, you know, in the end, I do believe there is a God. Anyway, Mark Rienzi, good luck. When do you think this will be over?
Well, the first hearings will be in December, and I actually think it might be over pretty quickly because these aren't good lawsuits. These are grandstanding lawsuits, and they're going to lose.
All right, Mark Rienzi, thanks so much.
Thank you.